Yesterday, I had a patient come to me, and first thing I do is meet and greet, hand them some paperwork, a registration paperwork, and I was in the next room, and I heard this, and I'm thinking, she's drawing her floaters, and that's a lot of dots. So she had told me that she'd gone to her eye doctor, who looked in her dilated pupil and said, "Wow, that's a lot of floaters." And I said, "Did they mention anything about asteroid hyalosis?" "No, I don't remember. That doesn't sound familiar." Okay. So anyways, I go through my consultation evaluation process while I'm dilating the pupil, and I take a look in there, and indeed, she had just hundreds of thousands of these small dots. It's immediately recognizable. It is a vitreous degeneration condition that occurs in about 1 in 200 people, most over the age of 50. And we see it now and then. It's brilliant, it's beautiful, it's amazing. It looks like this swirling snow globe. And yet, in an otherwise healthy eye. And interestingly enough, about 75% of these will occur in just one eye. These are microscopic, calcium-containing phospholipids. They're very, very dense. They're like little crystals, hence the name asteroid hyalosis. They're crystals. And she's really seen probably just a small percentage of them. She's probably just aware of the ones that are closer to the retina down here. She's really not seeing all of this. In fact, I remember the very first patient that I had seen in my residency training many, many years ago. I looked in through dilated pupil, brilliant swirling crystals, refractile reflective crystals. And I said, "What does that look like to you?" And he said, "What does what look like to me?" And this is an interesting point that actually is related to my practice in treating floaters, is you don't see the floaters. What you see is the shadows that are being cast onto the retina. In my patient yesterday, her case was she must have had some that were closer to the retina, and these are casting, trailing shadows that are meeting the retina, and that's what she's seeing. But most everything else has these small, short trailing shadows that are not reaching the retina. So again, she's just seeing a small percentage of them. Now, the sheer mass and distribution of this will reduce the amount of light, which is why she says it's brighter on one side and not on the other side. That's the diminished amount of light. Unfortunately, these are not treatable with the laser. And in fact, even while she was dilated, I said, "Does that diminish your awareness of these?" "Yeah, no, she's still seeing these." So both the laser, which cannot individually target hundreds of thousands of these things, as well as the slightly dilated pupil that goes with the low-dose atropine, is not going to really do much for her either. Ultimately, I had this long conversation with her of, well, there actually is a cure. You just have to go in and remove all of that, which is a vitrectomy. So I had a long talk to her about the possibility of pursuing a vitrectomy. It is purely elective. It's not something that has to be done for the health of the eye. In fact, this can be so extreme but still considered to be in a very healthy eye, which she has. So she has the capacity of really, really good vision in this eye. She would just have to do this big step of a surgical procedure to have that completely cured, which is not unreasonable. I don't see the vitrectomy as my competitor, or I don't demonize it and I don't vilify it. I think in situations particularly like this, it's actually a good choice. She would just have to accept that it may very well obligate her to another procedure, which is a cataract, because vitrectomies cause cataracts. I couldn't quite help her, but I spent about an hour and a half with her explaining why I couldn't. It's amazing to look at, one of those weird oddities of medicine that we don't really have a handle on because we really don't understand why it happens in the first place and why it only happens in one eye. So weird, but very cool. So anyways, put this out to you. For those of you that are curious about eye floaters, and the different varieties and different types and the different options and different ways to manage them, well, I'm your guy. I am the floater doctor. I'm Dr. James Johnson. This is what I do. I treat eye floaters, and occasionally I can't treat eye floaters. And that's just the name of the game. If you are interested in eye floaters, you have eye floaters, you want to learn more about eye floaters, if you're a doctor and you are starting to get into treating eye floaters and want to learn a little bit more, subscribe and come back and get notified when I have more of these. And now that I have a studio set up and now it's a little bit more convenient for me, I'm going to start doing more of these. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me, and see you next time.